Another negotiation plan shocked Ukraine, and Iran handed over hundreds of missiles to Russia. This and other topics we will discuss right now on our YouTube War and Politics 24. And my name is Iryna Uzlova, and I'm happy to join our conversation Mykhailo Sheitelman, political strategist. Michael, glad to see you. Hello. Thank you for joining.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning and good day, but not from all aspects of it. Olaf Scholz is preparing, no, Michael and our dear viewers, not Tauruses, but a peace plan for Ukraine. La Repubblica has learned the details. It implies the retention of previously captured Ukrainian territories by the Russian Federation. And that's not all, Michael. Scholz will not be afraid to call Putin at a reasonable time. According to German government spokesman Stefan Hebestreit, the Kremlin's latest statements do not give the impression that it is ready to enter into constructive peace negotiations on Ukraine, but Olaf Scholz can call Putin. Who broke Olaf Scholz, Michael?
Really, I can't trust this newspaper, Repubblica, which is an Italian newspaper, and in everything which connected to our war, Ukrainian-Russian war, I can't trust that, because during the war, during these 2.5 years, they published a lot of peace plans. Really, they published a lot of peace plans with unknown source, let's say. And this is just one more unknown source and one more anonymous peace plan. What I believe and what not. I believe that Olaf Scholz wants to be chancellor of peace, for example. They say, the newspaper says that Olaf Scholz wants to be chancellor of peace. That's true, yeah. Is he ready to call Putin? Yeah, he is ready to call Putin, absolutely. And he told that publicly, that he is ready to call Putin in case then he will see that there is any possibility for peace agreement. Yes. And he, by the way, he met Putin during the war, but it was at the beginning of the war. And he also noticed somewhere that this is not a war of Russian nation, but this is a war of Putin personally, etc., etc. So generally, he is ready for negotiation. What I can't believe that anybody in Europe, I mean, no, not Mr. Scholz, not President of France or Prime Minister of UK or Prime Minister of Italy, I mean the leaders of big countries, they are ready to bring any peace plan with questionable territories, let's say, with territories of Ukraine being annexed by Russia. That's just unreal now, because there is a consensus. And this consensus was signed also in Switzerland agreement. In Switzerland agreement in June, when the leaders of most of European countries, plus some leaders from Asia and Latin America met in Switzerland. They signed this agreement, and we remember that in this agreement, this was not agreement but proclamation, let's say. But in this proclamation, they said that no peace plan without territorial integrity of Ukraine will be accepted. So to bring now peace plan without territorial integrity of Ukraine, it means for Mr. Scholz going against the European rules now. So it sounds like unrealistic. Not a plan sounds unrealistic, but the idea Mr. Scholz bring this plan publicly sounds unrealistic.
But if it can be real, which main reason do you see can motivate Scholz to this initiative? Maybe it depends on his internal political problems and elections?
Okay, well, this is also the quote from this newspaper, yeah?
Yes, but not only for this. Yeah.
I generally don't believe in this idea. I generally don't believe in the idea Mr. Scholz bring this peace plan. But But is he ready to bring some peace plan? Yeah. We rather long never heard about any European peace plan. We heard about Brazilian peace plan, Indian. Tomorrow, for example, delegation of India goes to Kremlin to persuade Putin to sign some agreement. We heard about Indonesian peace plan, about Pope peace plan. I don't know which peace plan we never heard. African peace plan.
Yes.
But never European peace plan. So maybe Mr. Scholz, Chancellor Scholz, he wants to be the first initiator of European peace plan. In this I can believe. And generally, in his wish to bring this plan, I can't believe. But this plan should include territorial integrity of Ukraine.
Which role of India can be on these negotiation tracks?
It was reported by newspaper India Today. In this case, I absolutely trust India Today, because tomorrow we could just check this fact that High Representative of India tomorrow and for a couple of days he will meet Mr. Putin. I don't know would it be a personal meeting or meeting with Mr. Putin's staff, but they just will bring some our ideas. I mean, Mr. Modi, Prime Minister of India, he was in Moscow. Afterwards, he was in Kiev. Now the next step is to bring our position, Ukrainian position, to Moscow. So it looks like, let's try. I mean, from Indian point of view, it looks like, okay, we are ready to bring messages. By the way, Mr. Modi, Prime Minister Modi, when he was in Kiev, in Ukraine, he said that he is not ready to be a middleman in negotiation. He is ready just to be like something like messenger or somebody who brings messages between Moscow and Kiev. That's it. So I believe it is exactly that Mr. Modi said.
But it seems to me that not Mr. but Russian dictator Putin has a lot of hopes to India, according to visits of Narendra Modi to Moscow, according to their buying Russian oil, and not only these cases. Can Putin believe that he can give support from India in different, not only negotiations, deals?
On one hand, yes. India is a big supplier of Russian oil and not Russian gas, but Russian oil. Yes, but they don't have good logistic hubs between India and Russia. India and Russia, they are not connected by the land, so they can't, for example, build pipelines with oil. And also Indians, they don't have the money to invest in pipelines. So the only way to bring oil is to upload it to tanks in Black Sea, on Baltic Sea, and afterwards to bring it 10,000 miles from Russia to India. So this is not easy logistic, first. Second, Russia doesn't have enough tankers for that, because they have American sanction and Ukrainian sanction on Russian fleet also. So it is rather difficult to bring this oil. And India, after all of that, India is ready to pay only cheap price on this oil. So they have a price, not the market. This is not market price of $80 per barrel. It's maximum $60 per barrel, which India pays for this oil. And afterwards, India doesn't pay in dollars or euro. India pay in Indian rupee, which is the local currency. And Russians, they collect a lot of Indian rupees. But so it means like barter, more barter than business. So Russia could buy something only from India. And India does not produce a lot of goods. India produces some food, but they need food themselves. So So I don't see a lot of possibilities of cooperation between India and Russia. I mean, from technical side, this is not China, which produce everything. This is not Iran, which produce at least a lot of weapon. India does not produce a lot of weapon. So yes, India is big supplier of Russian commodities, of Russian commodities. Yeah, but this is the role of India. In other aspects, I mean political aspects, India more ally of United States than Russia.
Okay. Sometimes it's hard for me to believe that we even discuss the question about negotiations, because not only Russian-Ukrainian war stills, but we see that the scale of Russian provocations is expanding more and more from day to day. Yesterday, Russian drones flew into the territory of Romania and also for the first time violated the airspace of Latvia, where it fell. And today, a group of Russian drones was discovered in Sweden, which is why the largest airport in Arlanda suspended flights. Lithuanian criticizes NATO's inaction, demands a strong response from allies. The fall of drones on NATO territory was caused by the inaction of NATO allies, said the both smart and handsome head of the Lithuanian Foreign Ministry, Gabrielius Landsbergis. Michael, why Russian UAVs are increasingly flying into the airspace of NATO countries, and when the reaction from NATO will be more confident?
This is different cases. I mean, Latvia and Sweden, for example. Latvia and Romania, we are speaking about Russian drones, but these drones mostly they fly towards Latvia and Romania and Belarus, because when Ukrainian air defenses, they use radio electronic warfare. So after influence of radio electronic warfare, drones, they change their direction and they can fly towards other countries, nearby countries. This Latvian case, for example, obviously this drone crossed the territory of Belarus, and after territory of Belarus, it flew to the territory of Latvia. By the way, just now it was the news that after the investigation, it appeared that this drone was with all the explosive materials, with all the 40 kilo of explosive materials, this Latvian drone, I mean. The same situation in Romania, the same situation in Belarus and Poland. But in Sweden, it is absolutely different. In Sweden, it is a case of Germany, when Russia makes something unclear, and Russia denies that is Russian drones. That is like terrorist drones, let's say. We can say this is Islamic State drones, not our drones. So first of all, Germany and Sweden and NATO, they should and they will. And we will make an investigation of these cases. I mean, security investigation and intelligence investigation. So first, they should decide, okay, this is Russian drones, for example. And just in this case, they could give any answer for that. I mean, military answer or any other type of answer, political answer. This is one case. Another case is drones towards Latvia and Romania. And Gabrielius Landsbergis, he spoke about this type of drones, which are drones from our war, from our front line, which change the direction. In this case, NATO should decide only about military answer, because they don't have any other chance. Yeah, they could shut down these drones above Ukraine, and they could shut down these drones above their countries, like they do now.
Yes.
Here they have different positions, different political positions, different political statements we had from them. In Poland, for example, Mr. Sikorski, who is foreign minister of Poland, he said, yeah, we have to shut down Russian drones and Russian missiles above territory of Ukraine.
Yes.
Because if we allow them to come to our let's say to Poland territory. So this is dangerous. This is huge dangerous for Polish people. So, but immediately there was an answer from the government of Poland and from NATO that, okay, we are not at the same position like foreign ministry of Poland. So obviously we have now discussion inside NATO about that. Again and again, the situation is from the beginning of our war, that NATO afraid to become a part of this war. That's it. That's a position. Like Mr. Stoltenberg, when he was Secretary General of NATO, at the first day of war, said our main goal is not to become part of Russian-Ukrainian war. So the same position we stay now.
I don't believe that someday our NATO allies will shut down drones behind our airspace, or they decided that there are no red lines from Russian Federation because they are afraid because of escalation nowadays. Or maybe can it change one day?
Yes, it absolutely. I am absolutely sure that it will change someday,
Okay.
and we will see. Not personally we maybe, but people who will survive till this day. We'll see also like NATO forces will come inside Russia and bomb Russia itself, because this war has no exit. Has no exit in current state of war. When it is war only between Russia and Ukraine, we are going by the way of escalation permanently. It is permanent escalation. And always discussions about peace agreement, we hear that, we listen to that during 2.5 years, from April 2022. And we see that it's just empty discussion, senseless discussion. So anyway, this war, Ukrainian-Russian war, goes by the way of escalation. On some stage of this escalation, NATO will take a part of this war, absolutely take a part of this war, not only by weapon, but with soldiers and with aircrafts, etc., etc., etc. Mr. Putin does not stop if we will not kill him. Yeah.
Yes, exactly, without any doubts. The first 360s that Iran could have transferred to Russia are short-range ballistic missiles. The missiles will pose a threat to the Ukrainian defense forces near the front line, as well as to settlements at a distance of about 100 kilometers from the border with Russia, according to our Bogdan Dolince, innovation market development expert. So what are the strategic reasons behind Iran's decision to supply ballistic missiles to Russia, and what potential consequences could arise from Iran providing ballistic missiles to Russia in terms of international sanctions or diplomatic reactions?
By the way, it is a very difficult question, because not obvious, absolutely not obvious why, rather suddenly, Iranian side, they decided to supply these rockets, these missiles to Russia. Because we heard about that last 2 years, September, yes. October 2022. I remember the first report in American media was about that. So 2 years, Iranian, they didn't take this decision. Now it looks like yes, it looks like they did this decision. So obviously something should be changed, but what exactly, we don't know. What we watched from outside, we have seen the visit of Mr. Shoigu, who a former defense minister of Russia, and now he is the chairman of Security Council of Russia. His visit to Iran at the days of Iranian-Israel crisis. I mean, the hot crisis, because, Iranian-Israel crisis, we have 40 years of Iranian-Israel crisis. Yes. But on the heydays of this crisis, Mr. Shoigu came to Tehran. So obviously, for me, Russia supplied something to Iran. I don't know exactly what, but in theory, it could be, for example, counter missiles, which we can put around nuclear objects inside Iran. And this is most secret and most dangerous Iranian military objects. And Israel wants to destroy that. And Iran doesn't have any facilities to stop Israel from that. So maybe Russians, they agreed, for example, to send not only weapon, but also the military personnel with this weapon. Now, what I say, this is just speculation, because I don't have any information about that. This is most, how to say that, most secret information, let's say, from CIA or maybe or other intelligence services. So I can't say what exactly, but Russia supplied something new to Iran, some new weapons. So Iran supplied to Russia this 200 or something, or some amount of these ballistic missiles. About consequences. Military consequences and diplomatic consequences. Diplomatic consequences. Yes, Iran will have new sanctions. Russia will have new sanctions because this supply of missiles, it is against the rules of United Nations. And about military consequences, these missiles, they can't change the war or change anything on the front line. But they can kill hundreds till thousands of civil population inside Ukraine. Russians, they can use these ballistic missiles against the cities located near the border, for example, against Kharkiv or against Sumy, and to exchange these Russian missiles with biggest, longest range. Now we use against Kharkiv and Sumy and Poltava, for example, we use missiles of Iskander type, which can hit targets in 300-400 kilometers. But we will use Iranian missiles, and these Russian missiles we will use against Kiev or in other cities. It will be the tactic. So 200 missiles, let's say the average number of killed civil person per one missile is about 5. So this is 1,000 of Ukrainian lives.
Yes, and it's a pity, but we understand these risks, and I hope that it really will not change the Russian-Ukrainian war in deep questions. In the summer of next year, 2025, the economic consequences of the war will become painful for the Russian Federation. This opinion was expressed by the head of the main directorate of intelligence of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, Kirill Budanov. At the same time, Budanov doesn't believe that this war can end in, for example, hungry bread riots for the Russian Federation, because in his opinion there is no such leader in Russia as Vladimir Lenin, for example, in 1917, who could oppose himself to the current Russian Tsar. Yevgeny Prigozhin could claim his role, but he was destroyed. The first question, Michael, how painful blow to the Russian Federation could be, for example, limiting the price of oil to $40 per barrel, as Trump, for example, proposes?
Well, it is difficult to analyze that. I rather could say that most of analytics, which I heard, they says that next year really will be a rather tough year for Russian economy for a couple of reasons. First, this year, Russians really invested in this war. They raise up the spendings of national budget by 30% or 35% compared to the previous year. About half of Russian budget goes to the war. It means 1/3 towards military and some more 20% to intelligence services and civil defense, etc., etc. So generally for the war, we spent half of their money. But this is the half of the budget which was enlarged last year. Next year, by the budget rule, which was concluded in the Russian parliament, they should decrease the budget by about 20%. They should decrease the budget by 20%, but they can't afford to themselves to decrease the military spendings because they will lose the war in this case. So it looks like, at least from the today's point of view, it looks like their military expenses, military spending, they will be 60 or 70% of Russian budget. So obviously they will meet some difficulties in economy. Obviously they will meet difficulties in economy. But there are another factors. For example, they mobilize a lot of people, more than 1 million people during the war. And they now don't have enough workers for the factories. And they also increased the production of military factories. They increased production in military factories, so they decreased the production in civil manufacturing. Because they don't have enough job force, and this will be a very big problem for Russia. Russian population also decreased, not increasing. So the only thing I can say, they will don't have next year the same good situation in the economy like this year. But on which scale, it is the question for economists, not to me.
Yes, understand. Thank you for general analysis. Do you also, Michael, not believe that there can be hunger or another riots in Russia? But can we think that maybe may a new Prigozhin appear there?
When they are speaking about hunger, we are speaking from historical point of view. 100 years ago, the World War I was stopped by hunger in Germany, hunger in Russia, in St. Petersburg, for example, there was a hunger, and it brought the revolution of Mr. Lenin. In Germany, there was a hunger, and it also brought to the capitulation, the de facto capitulation of Germany. But hunger of our days, the hunger of 21st century, is different from the hunger of 20th century. Hunger of 21st century is not about food. It's about fuel, for example, cars and other goods. In the beginning of 20th century, hunger was a hunger about food, yeah? Now, when most of people in the big cities of Russia will not have enough money to pay their mortgage, it is hunger. They can't pay for the leasing for their cars, this is hunger. They can't go to some tourist attraction, this is hunger now. So just the lifestyle of most Russians will be ruined. This is the hunger. But now we are far away from this situation. But how long? Far away. Couple of years, I believe. Couple of years.
Okay, it's a pity that it's not a couple of months or maybe days, but we have such reality. And tomorrow we will have, not we, but American people will see the most huge verbal duel of the year, it seems to me, the debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. What key issues are likely to dominate in this debate? How do you think, and how much will be Ukraine there?
Again, a general question about what we will discuss. This is a question for American analysts, American strategists, not for me, because I'm not so deep inside American politics, obviously, and not from Kiev, we can judge American policymakers. Yeah,
yes.
The only topic which we could discuss is the topic of our war, and I believe that obviously couple of minutes, the candidates to presidency, we will discuss exactly our war. And it will be interesting for us, obviously, and it will be some critical day, because Kamala Harris, we never heard the position of Kamala Harris about our war. I mean, clear and obvious. We heard 100 quotes from Mr. Trump, 100 quotes about our war. And these different quotes, he said it in different places, in different circumstances. They are not, they have not consequency. Sometimes he said that he will withdraw the sanction from Russia, sometimes vice versa, yeah? So I believe that the position which he will bring in this debate will be the official position of his campaign. Because nobody have to publish official position. There is no the list of official position, the formal one, yeah? But position of candidate Harris and position of candidate Trump, they will be official after September 10th. So this is why this day very important for Ukrainian society.
We'll see. Thank you, Michael, for today's conversation. Thank you for your opinion, for your clever thoughts, and for your time. See you next week.
Thank you, Iryna.
Be careful. Goodbye. Mykhailo Sheitelman, political strategist. My name is Iryna Uzlova. Thank you, our dears, for viewing us. Subscribe, please, to our YouTube channel. Put your likes and leave your comments. It's very necessary and useful for us. Every viewer and your opinion are valuable to us too. So take care of yourself and believe in the armed forces of Ukraine. See you later.